Oh, hey guys, we're back on.
There it is.
Why don't you take the lead on this one, bud?
Welcome to the Bad Lines podcast, coming to you live from King of the Hammers in Johnson Valley, California. I've got Wallace, my co-host. We've got Logan here.
They do have that.
Logan is a beautiful specimen. He's got a large mammal vessel, and on top of being a large mammal
A
yourself,
porpoise of sorts. Yeah,
Yeah.
So you're 6'6" yourself.
I am.
And how heavy is your beast?
With me in the driver's seat, with me in the seat, half tank of fuel was 7,600 pounds.
Holy smokes.
Not bad for a long bed 4-wheel drive diesel, though.
You're basically an earth mover at this point.
It was kind of like sending a Boeing 747 through the middle of the desert every time you drive it.
Oh, dude, I'm so down.
It's a
Wanna
good
go for
thing.
a
It's a
rip
good
tomorrow?
time. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Or tonight. I mean, we still got time.
And so you've had numerous other off-road vehicles, but so what led you to the Dodge?
Kind of got into the diesel scene with a bunch of other guys growing up early. It was like the cool fad to have was the second gen diesel. So I got into it. Second owner, the thing was pristine. There had never been a bag of chips opened inside of it. You know, leather, wood grain dash, heated seats. It was tits. And then this dude, Baja Browse was his screen name. He had a 02 6-speed long bed that we took to Mexico for Baja one year. And that's when I was kind of like, well, you can actually make these, Caterpillar-esque whales of vehicles fully haul the mail.
Yeah.
All it takes is gobs of money and hate your family, and you're good to go.
And so linked front and rear, because it's
Radius
a
on
radius
front.
arm.
Yep.
Got it. But the thing scoots. I mean,
Does really well for being, 30-foot wheelbase
yeah,
and 7,600 pounds or whatever. It moves pretty good.
right on.
So what was the second gen deal? So they're the 16 valve? Is that what those ones?
Mine's a 24 valve, so
Okay.
12 valve was pre 97 and a half. I think September of 97 and below was 12 valves. 94 through 02 is your second gens. 94 through 70 or 97 and a half 12 valve. 97 and a half through 02 is 24 valve when they went to an electronic fuel injection pump.
Okay. So what is it reliability that everyone talks about these things, or is it power consumption? Like, what is the catalyst for a Dodge guy going, you got to have, because I've heard it before and I just never understood it. Like, why do you have to have that motor?
So you're probably referring to a 12 valve whenever people scream about about reliability and simplistic stuff. That was the 94 through 97 and a half 12 valve. It was a mechanical V or a P pump, like a 7100 P pump injection pump. Basically, that's your end of the world. Like, everyone else is dying, and I still can put used motor oil in my tank and run forever.
Okay. No, I understand that, because I think that at the end of the world, like, you're going to have a bunch of used motor oil just at your disposal.
Sure.
I get it. I understand it.
They'll burn anything.
Yeah. I just think it's funny because I was looking on the forum today about some Bronco information. I guess if the third brake light on the Bronco somehow ruins the transmissions, if you use an LED, apparently it can burn up the transmission.
You've been hanging out with Jeff Falzone way too much.
Dude, trust me. But then I went online and
I've learned
on
a
the
lot.
forum, and then you see something like this, and then I hear a bunch of people like, no, I would just leave it stock. And that's like most forums in general is like, oh, no, you're better off not touching that. And you're like, that's not, I didn't come here to get taken back, Dad. Like,
Yeah.
So my thought and question was, you have this pre-runner truck, right? It's legit, it's big, it's linked, it goes fast, it does things. The reliability of the motor obviously is important. It needs to work.
Sure.
But it's not a 300, 400,000 mile motor. Like,
absolutely.
It is.
Yeah. 100%.
Even going hard on it.
Mine's really low quotation miles. It's got a tick over 186,000 on it. If you feed them proper fuel pressure on the VP trucks, specifically 97.5 to 02, because mine's electronic injection, as long as you feed them proper fuel pressure and make sure they have some amount of oil in them, they're pretty golden for a long time. I think your Achilles heel for any Dodge is always going to be the transmission.
Okay.
So once you address that, and if you start dumping a ton of horsepower to them, it's like anything. You have to have that fusible link. So keep power modest and make sure you can buy everything at O'Reilly's, and then you're pretty much good to go.
So is it fast?
It will comfortably cruise like 75.
Can you get to 75 quickly?
It'll blow 40s off on pavement.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's got a lot of torque, but it doesn't put a ton of power down. There's not a crazy build on the motor or anything, but it's pretty easy to make a decent amount of torque through them.
Yeah, and that's most diesels in
Sure.
general. But also being able to keep it reliable. I always thought it was funny because I'm bringing it from the last story I had. Is I was selling a 1994 Ranger and people are asking how many miles are on it. I'm like, you're in the wrong.
Right.
So I was bringing that up to answer the question, like, are the Dodge motors good enough to pre-run in, like to go out? Yeah.
They're very, very simple. I mean, you can pretty much replace anything on it with an adjustable wrench and a hammer. Pretty archaic, easy build. And you can, the benefit about it is you run 2,000 RPM while doing 70 through anything.
Okay. I was going to say, is it fun to drive though? Because I like making loud noises.
It definitely does tractor, dinosaur / Boeing jet noises through
Okay.
everything.
So that's fun. That's good.
While we were sending it today on the
You got to get a
sand
blow
dunes.
off valve in the thing. Just for the noise factor. That's it.
Yeah.
It doesn't actually, doesn't have to do anything.
It would need a blow off valve.
Yeah, you should do that. It's got a turbo, right?
It does have a turbo.
Just wire one up. I don't know how it works.
I think that's a gas motor thing. I don't know, and I could definitely be wrong, but I don't know if diesels run blow-off valves. I know for sure wastegates, that's what it's got, but I don't know if...
Well, wastegate is the blow-off valve. Is it not?
It's not. No. So my tow rig is a 04 2500 6.0 4L80 that I put a turbo in, naturally. Big cam, and it's got, your blow-off valve is cold air side. Wastegate is hot air side.
Oh, okay. Excuse me. Yes, it does make sense.
So we mentioned Jeff Falzone. Dude's an absolute beautician. He's allowed us to be at this campsite, King of the Hammers.
He came over.
with him.
He zip tied something in my truck
Yeah.
this morning without asking, and I just
Guys,
thank you.
he's awesome.
Thank you.
Prep work.
But so you've
did it for me.
been doing a little wheeling with him this weekend, and there's a couple of funny stories that you've told me last night around the fire. But you're talking about the power steering fluid, and then you opened up a tranny line because you're out of fluid.
Yeah, I think the term that he used was "fun with the Falzones," which could not be more accurate. So we pulled crude oil out of his E4OD, which was rocking first and second gear only, to swap into his power steering fluid, which had promptly ejected itself whilst running. I can only imagine 6,000 RPM down 10 miles of highway because it's stuck in second gear. So I'm so far I'm down one window squeegee because he borrowed that after to wash his window after he'd coated it with.
Yeah. But yeah, you were talking about you just pulled a line on the tranny and just got some Jaeger out of it.
He got after it. Yeah,
That's a Jaeger.
He got down there, flathead screwdriver, popped his line loose, and dumped it into a water bottle while his kid cranked it over to spin the pump in the tranny and pulled it out. His kid is, for a young dude, super involved. And
I think with a dad like that, you have to be.
Yeah, that's true. No, he was like big into it.
Yeah.
And his exact words were, "I take credit for everything on this thing." So yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Rad.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jeff, it's funny. I mean, obviously Jeff's been doing this quite a bit longer than all of us, and we've all been in the game for a minute. You know, we didn't just show up last week and start chatting about this stuff, but it's even that experience is probably new for them. You know what I mean? Like, oh, let's pop this off and do that. I don't know if it's new. Maybe he's done that like every trip. I don't know.
He was really comfortable with. Anytime that something happened, which was a few times, it wasn't like something new had happened. You know, you can definitely tell that he's got a lot of experience and done a lot of dirt.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and then we were talking about it. Like I don't remember what thread it was. It might have been like the what to pack, and he was talking about everybody, we're kind of like, oh, we get all these things together, we do all this prep, and then he kind of was like, well, I don't prep, and we're like, what do you mean you don't prep? Like, this is a dude that he's just like, yeah, we'll just figure it out there. It's like, it's gonna be fine. He's like, it makes a better story, and he's not wrong. I mean, that's one outlook, and I see all his Baja mini tours. It looks like he's having a good time. So
Yeah, no, it's just cool. What so you guys went out ripping today. Did you guys do anything super exciting other than obviously working on stuff? Did you guys see anything cool out there that is King of the Hammers specific?
We went out to the sand dunes, and there was that cat in the first gen Dodge. I think it's a pretty new build that he just finished up, single cab or cab and a half, 94-ish, first gen that was beamed, back half linked, pretty rad. It had like a center mount exhaust out of the rear. Just he was getting after it. He was sending it pretty good behind the that crew cab, orangish red F-150 square body,
all American Center.
All American Center. He was out there putting in some air miles.
Was he sending it for America?
All American to be specific.
Just stop, dude. I'm gonna throw this microphone at you.
I just want to get the full picture. I want people to know what we're talking about here. We've got this all American sender. There's nothing about non-American about him, and he's sending it. So
yeah,
getting it. Yeah, that was pretty rad.
Yeah.
And you sent it as well.
We gave it hell.
Yeah.
Do you have any video of it?
Yeah, Jeff does. A couple of guys.
Okay,
out there.
I'm gonna have to get an airdrop before I drop this mic.
Proverbial mic drop turned into.
Anything I want to do right now is to make Elliot go.
I'm just gonna swing it at him like a grappling hook, dude. Just take him out.
So how many KOH is this for you?
I haven't missed a year since 2010, I think.
And have you had the Dodge the whole time?
Yeah. Yep. I've had the Dodge for like 13 years or something like now.
Okay. So what was your first like rendition of the Dodge at KOH? Was it like stock or was it?
That thing I've done the thing that I really try to preach to people to do is, if you can afford a 2.0 and you think that's what you want, save up till you can do a 2.5. If you can afford
shock.
Right.
Okay.
Or I mean, just shocks or anything that you're like, this is going to be fine for me. Like, great. That's awesome. Don't do that. Wait till you have a little bit more and then do the step above where you think you're going to need. Because that truck out here has been on 16.5-inch wheels with military 37s, stock gears, stock rear leaves, stock control arms, bolt-in Fox 2.0 non-resis to like a shackle flip rear with a 2.0 with a resi up front, stock junkers in the rear, through this entire iteration of like linking it without a cage, trying not to die, then finally being like, okay, let's take this thing down and sit for 6 years and do it right.
With that said, and I don't disagree with you, like if you know that you're diehard and like this is what you do and this is how you spend your weekends, I get it. Like you do want to upgrade your truck, but like, would you have passed up that trip with your truck if it were as is? Like, or I'm not going to bring my truck out this trip. I'd rather save up money.
100% no. It's the same argument that I do with a lot of guys about dirt bikes. Like any truck or any dirt bike that allows you to get out there, regardless of if it is an absolute trash pile, but it has a driver's seat and main, like the most part of four wheels, and you can go out and hoon the shit out of it, do it. Yeah. There's no reason to rental car, absolutely send it. Yeah. Doesn't have to be something awesome.
I was going to say, like, I with my other truck, I had 3 off-road trucks at one time, only because only one was working, and that was the one I just purchased to go off-roading because the other 2 were down. And it was just to get me out here. But, like, I remember one year I came out, and the only vehicle I had to drive around other than the RV, because I typically work these events.
Which probably would wheel if you tried.
It was a 36,000-pound RV. It was a beast.
You'd have to hit it hard.
Yeah, you'd have to. Well, I mean, you're a big man. You know how weight works. I don't know how to throw
that a couple times now.
I don't know how to throw that thing around.
Yeah, he wants to know about the jumpsuit. What's the story with that thing, anyway?
This is a past life, previous life. I worked for Phillips 66. They gave us jumpsuits with our names on them, so we didn't forget.
Okay.
Is it insulated?
No, it's fire retardant though. Okay.
I have an insulated, non-fire retardant one, and it's the best. But yeah, I was just bringing that up because just show up and whatever you got, man.
Anything that gets you doing what you want to do is the right vehicle.
Yeah, but it's nicer to have a good vehicle that works well.
I think it's a natural progression of time versus money versus want, right? You have to have kind of all three, but one builds the other. Like you don't have the money, but you're out there and you're doing it. Eventually, if you really want to do it, you'll have the money. You just have to work for it and get it.
Sure.
So I'm bringing that up to Elliot right now since he has been working tirelessly on his Forerunner, but he brought the mouse out this weekend. So the mouse just works. He just gets in it and he drives it, and
Yeah.
it works fine.
I figure it's going to be a good can distributor.
It was great.
Yeah.
But it's been a long haul to get that here. But we've all been working. Like, what effort have you put into getting the Forerunner out of this week?
I mean, it's been like basically 2 weeks straight of like 1 a.m. nights, but it's my own fault for waiting and, waiting like a year to do the swap. I don't know why we do this.
Like now you have a drive. You have to.
Yeah. No, exactly. That like gives you the motivation to get shit done and, install the parts that you have laying around. Like it's funny because you like talk to, anybody around the campfire. It's like, oh yeah, I've had these parts for this long or that long, and it's just I guess buying. I think you told me that like buying the parts is easy, installing them not so much.
The UPS man like makes it look so great when he just drops off massive boxes worth of retirement stuff, and you're like, hell yeah, that's going to be badass in the spare room for the next however long.
Yeah.
Both Ellie and I bought Switch Pros. I looked at the receipt. It was 2019. I think it was September 2019. We both installed it this week.
Oh, total loyal fan of them. That thing's been great. I actually bought two. One of them was a knockoff that I didn't know about, and it fully caught on fire.
Oh,
so yeah. And Switch Pros, like I called them up and I told them about it. And I was like, "Hey, this thing caught on fire," and they're like, "What?" So I kind of explained it to them, and they were like, "Well, tell me like exactly what the number is on this," and da 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 da. And they're like, "Oh yeah, that's a fully Alibaba unit."
Oh shit.
And then they still were like, "Because of this, here you go," and hooked me up. I paid them a little bit, and they hooked me up with one super good customer service.
Yeah,
they're great people, and we have our buddy Brennan working there now, which I'm super stoked on. Just to have like a good contact.
They're
not
rad.
That I have a good contact there, but like having a dude that's like in our space, which is rad. But no, I'm just using that example as like we've had something sitting on the shelf for like years. What was the major prep that you did this week that you could have done prior?
So we just got done with running /X to Laughlin, very end of December, and I washed it. After that, half-assedly, sprayed off the undercarriage, which is big for me, big prep. And then aside from that, I chunked a huge, like 2 times the size of a silver dollar out by the mailbox on Mojave Trail out of the passenger side rear 40. And rather than replacing it with one of the spares, that would have been like a different colored wheel or dismounting and mounting a tire, which I fully wasn't going to do. I rubber cemented it and slapped a patch on it. And it has been cherry. Yeah, she's holding great.
Rubber cement and a patch?
I even used
How many
vulcanizing
miles?
compound.
How many miles?
On the patch so far?
Yeah.
Probably 250. Oh, she's great. No, it's solid. I'm not changing it.
That's a forever fix.
Safety third.
100%. Verified. Oh, so talking about ordering parts and not putting them on, I ordered a new cat filter and outerwear. They're in the back seat of the Dodge still, ready to roll.
Mm-hmm.
Is that for the fuel or
No, air filter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's in the back seat, ready to go at any moment.
I have 4 gallons of antifreeze that needs to go in the Bronco because I have not done that yet, Mikey. Since I've gotten it, so yeah, we're close. We're doing things. It's gonna happen out here.
It's just how it goes. It's just, and I don't know what that is. It's like, is it procrastination? I guess.
I think it's like you just get in the family grind through the normal day, day in, day out, and you're looking forward to the trip, and then eventually it comes upon you where like, well, I have to do something now. So then you're kind of pumped because it's like, no, I have to be outside to do it. So then you finally knock it out rather than sit on the couch and drink beer after work. I'll get to this tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So you just kind of keep pushing it off until you're forced to do it or not go on your annual trip.
Yeah.
And how many trips are you typically taking a year, your big beast?
Probably 3. I'd like to get out more, but just living on the Central Coast, it's like it doesn't matter how you do it. Towing the trailers out here, it's 8 hours each way. It's the Chevy got 6.5 miles to the gallon. You have to run premium in it, so it's just expensive. It's a long trip, but we'll be back out here in 2 months, and we try to throw in some odd and end trips while prior to it getting super hot. So usually 3, hopefully more.
Do you ever take it up north where because it is 4-wheel drive still? Like, do you ever take it no?
No crawling.
No, I wouldn't say crawling, but like Mammoth. Not Mammoth close to you, but there's definitely some stuff up north that's like dirt trails, like fire road stuff.
No, actually, I haven't been anywhere up north with it. We had talked about going and doing like Nornav, that kind of area up in like I think Moon Rocks is what they called it, up by Reno.
Okay.
Talked about going up there with the group because we have a bunch of for our DTX, our annual trip where we actually camp right here in 2 months. A lot of the guys come down from Bend, Oregon, from Thurin Fabrication. So we were talking about doing a trip, and like rather than them always having to drive their 13 or 14 hours, whatever it takes them to get down here, meeting them kind of up there and doing a Moon Rocks run.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
So you haven't really ever done any like actual 4x4 stuff in this big old beast of yours?
Not more than we do out here following Jeff through tight canyons. But no, the fiberglass on it is the only set of second-gen long bed fiberglass ever built. I had it custom made by Hanneman down in Azusa. And if it breaks, he doesn't have the mold for it anymore, so I'm fucked.
Yeah. You're going to drop the thing off in Mexico and have him redo it. That's what Scott did.
Yeah, having some sort of glass, or just, I probably should just be smarter and pull the glass off before taking it out and running it anywhere.
That's no fun.
It's
and it wouldn't look good.
Prep work that I'm not willing to do.
Yeah, sure. So he's a big prep guy. That's my takeaway here.
Yeah.
And how's your experience been? I've had to do a little work stuff. I haven't really been able to drive my brand new Bronco, new to me Bronco. That's not new. But what have you gotten into today, bud?
Well, we got all the cans dropped off. Hose B and Scotty, and who else helped us? Scotty's dad, Don, helped out.
Bring the mic up a little
bit better. We just got those all dropped off at the appropriate booths within Hammertown. And yeah, we cruised over to the Overland Zone, and they weren't there yet. I think I misread the date, and basically there was a bunch of porta potties.
Still packing their scottles.
Yeah. So I just I decided that we shouldn't leave the can there because it would probably end up being not there when they get there. But yeah, just getting them all distributed, and it's pretty rad, like cruising around Hammertown, and you have a bunch of people who are like King of the Canners. Like, it's just weird to see like somehow this has gotten as much traction as it has.
Yeah, I found it like, just talking with anyone, if I bring it up, they've seen it, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Like you don't realize how far of a reach that we've been able to do by and it's not that we're doing anything unique. It's just drawing attention to a fact that it annoys everyone.
Yeah.
It's like flies. Like, you could bring up a fly and everyone's got a story about a fly. Like, it's just something that's just like inherently in you. And so I feel like it's just interesting that we were able to, one, provide a cool service and be able to participate and do all these things, and just obviously make our space and everyone's space out here slightly better. It's just one less piece of trash to look at when you're kind of whatever.
Yeah.
But I was just bringing that up, just like we started all this from the forum, and like that's how we met you, is through the forum. And how that's a slight impact on everyone that we've been able to talk to. I haven't heard of anyone that hasn't heard of it today, which is pretty cool to me. Like, I've mostly been talking to industry people, so people that are focused on like working and learning the events and everything. They pay attention to whatever King of the Hammers is posting and or reposting or storing or whatever. So with the forum, like how did you find out about the forum and stuff, man?
I think originally it was through Tommy. I had kind of followed loosely his like DMC adventures and all that, and with the main group that I usually go out with, it's once, maybe twice a year kind of thing. And I was like, fuck, I need to get out and do more, get out in the dirt more, and I spent the money, spent the time. So I started hitting up Tommy about like, hey, next time you guys are doing a run, like, where are you going? Do you guys ever go Cal Valley or Barstow or something like that? That's not just Glamis. Being that I live in Pismo, I was like, I don't want to do sand dunes. He's like, well, check out the forum. And so I I think he sent me the link or just told me the name of it. And I went on there and I was like, holy shit. It's a
Thanks,
whole,
Tommy.
yeah, it was kind of a whole thing. Like, I was like, oh fuck, there's dirt bikes on here. There's classifieds on here. There's mountain bikes, like trucks. I was like, oh, this is rad. And it was cool to see another super active forum that's kind of niche, right, for this industry. You can see like Tacoma World or all these other forums that are just gigantic that don't have.
What do I have to do to fit 37s?
Right. Yeah. That's just my go-to. Like, you see like Cummins forum for the big trucks and stuff. It regardless of what it is that somebody posts on there, I just say, yes, it'll fit 35s. It doesn't matter if they're asking about headlights. Like, yes, it will. It will absolutely fit 35s. But like, if your stepdad says it's cool, run 40s. So I saw the forum and I was like, oh, bitchin'. This is like, it's active. There's like, you go on there and there's like 6 members active currently. And the forum that I had kind of got into the Dodge thing with had really tapered off until recently. So it all migrated over to Facebook, which is super irritating.
Full boomer zone there.
Dude.
I cannot for the life of me stand any of it.
Because it's and I get it, like, people come on and they just do the proverbial LOL didn't read, right? Like, the search bar is there and everybody says like, don't be a dickhead and tell them the search bar is there. It's like, well, but it is, like, yes, it will fit 35s, for God's sake, that kind of thing. So if you get into the forums and it kind of tapers that back, because there's, you can really badger somebody hard in a closed area. And that's what keeps
Dude,
it.
if you're 6'6", I do not want to be in a closed area with you, bud.
Yeah.
If you can badger me, because I think you do a lot more.
I'm a big cuddler. Cuddle with a struggle.
Oh, God.
Well, I do want to thank you for joining up.
You can get this out there. Go ahead.
I'm so nervous right now. You are such a large mammal.
Don't be scared.
You got this big ass truck. You're wearing a fucking jumpsuit.
It's not this is safety oriented clothing. I feel like this was the right option to wear out here.
Yeah. Okay. Well, with that said, I think we should probably head out to Chocolate Thunder. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Ready for a rip?
He's going to bed.
Yeah. He looks like he's going to bed with those sweats on and the Uggs.
Yeah.
Elliot, you bought me these.
I know.
The Uggs are mine. Okay. You want to try them on?
But yeah, no.
That's incredible. Those things roll through Starbucks drive-through and then King of the Hammers all in the same Ugg.
Same day.
Same day.
Same day, dude. These things don't come off. These are my work boots.
The thugs right there.
Yeah, these are the thugs.
Do you wear them in the shop, do anything, or like grinding?
He literally will wear them anywhere.
So I'm a huge fan of shop flops. I wear flip-flops like anytime that I'm not in work boots.
Yeah, I was telling when I was in my house, I'm like, dude, you got to buy a TIG welder and a bandsaw. There's no sparks. You can fucking work in like a t-shirt and flip-flops all day long. You're fine. You're clean.
I feel like flip-flops and safety squint is definitely adequate.
Safety squint.
It's
That's
definitely
Tommy. Tommy's like, I don't wear safety glasses. We're like,
Tommy's not
we're
going to spend the
looking
money on
around.
that. Tommy's not going to spend the money on that. Let's
Yeah,
be honest.
everything in his shop, he bought. It came with the house.
He got it whenever he picked up his 74th rolled over Bronco.
And he's going to tell you about it for 4 days. I love you, Tommy.
But yes, Chocolate Thunder. Let's go. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks for listening. Catch you on the next one.
Mic drop.
All right. Sweet.